Hello, happy August, and welcome to Super Cast Brothers. I'm Jonno slash Jonathan. I think you know the routine by now. There's another guy here too that's been with me for what, 24 episodes? I want to say. Holy
I
moly.
don't have the number in front of me. If I knew you were going to start with that, I would have gathered it. But hey, it's Zantok, otherwise known as Lister, the person who's constantly getting tormented every fucking episode of this nonsense.
Oh yeah, it's episode 25, so good thing you had
I
the
was pretty
information
sure. I was pretty
available.
sure that 24 was incorrect. I just wasn't sure which number. And it's also it might be episode 25, but it's also the beginning of cycle 9, the final cycle of the first season of Supercast
Yeah,
Brothers. And when we
we're gonna
say
be
seasons, it's not just like, oh, we're gonna take a break. It's just like, yeah, we're just using something to mark how long we've been doing this. And when the last episode of this cycle goes up, it'll have been a year. So
mm-hmm.
holy shit!
It will have. We're fast approaching. Our first episode was uploaded on August 31st, and our last episode will be landing right around that same time frame.
Yep.
So yeah, holy crap. So as you would imagine, we're planning, some bigger and better kind of QOL improvements for the second season of episode cycles. But we're also planning and eager to get started on this final cycle of the first year slash season two because there's some special episodes planned to kind of ceremonially launch this off. And to begin is
Smasher
our
Dash.
last on topic episode of the year. Yeah.
Oh,
It's yeah, exactly. We're looking back on our time, basically the origins of how we met and how we met a lot of our friends, including several who featured on this podcast throughout the first year, through the website and forum legacy of the early and late 2000s, rather late 2000s and early 2010s. Uh, Super Smash Brothers Mercurious.
so this is our origin story. Does when do we get to be in the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
Soon enough, or maybe
Hell
we're going
yeah.
to be in the Nintendo Cinematic Universe.
Maybe they can cast me for Wolverine. I'm short enough.
That's also true. Who would they cast me as?
Captain Canada.
Okay, I was going to say Modoc, so that works.
You know what? You know what?
What?
Sure, you can be Modoc. Actually, Modoc might be just now that we've gone on this subject. Modoc might be in one of the upcoming shows because AIM is going to be in the Falcon and Winter Soldier show. So we might actually see Modoc
Oh,
soon.
holy moly, that's going to be very presumptively terrifying. I'm looking forward to it.
Yup.
Or but when we got into Mercurius, they didn't accept fourth party characters like MODOK or Spider-Man or Goku like we talked about pretty recently on Smash or Dash. But eventually they did, but that's for later on.
Yeah.
But it was kind of a place to raise our hopes and dreams when we were kids in high school and middle school. For some of us, elementary school. Back on this forum, it's funny too because it was a message board or forum, and it feels like that format of communication has all but died out and like gone the way of the beeper.
Yeah.
And people just don't even recognize it because there's so many social media platforms now and so many streaming and chat platforms like Discord um, that are carrying the conversation, streamlining what can be streamlined, bringing more of an immediacy to the table. So forums are probably just better left off dead and gone at this rate, but it still offers us some of our first slices of that old man cake where we're like, back in my day, we had this and we had a lot of fun on it and stuff.
It's really
I
kind of
wouldn't.
strange what's happened. Like watching the history of the internet go from like ICQ chat clients to message boards to uh, gaming websites like GameFAQs or Event Hubs to Reddit to Discord. Like people used to use Yahoo and MSN Messenger and the AOL client, but now it's just like people are just using Discord or Skype or Zoom or some using Facebook. But Facebook has a lot.
Yeah.
Facebook's going through some times.
Microsoft Teams too.
Oh god, no, Microsoft Teams bad. WebEx
Mhm.
Teams is bad. Oh god, my job uses
Mhm.
WebEx Teams and I fucking hate it. It's such a bad program. It's so bad.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Slack as well.
we use Zoom for some like music meetings and stuff, and that's okay. The security issues there kind of make me wary,
Yeah, I have a
but it
personal
is what it
vendetta
is.
against Zoom. Part of it's just the name. I
Nice.
hate it. Part of it how it's
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, I've literally here's this program. I literally never heard about Zoom once until pandemic, and then everybody's just like, oh my god, Zoom. Let me just love on it forever. Blah, 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 blah. Like, what the fuck?
Seriously.
Where did this come
Seriously.
from? Like, guys, just use Discord. It's
Hmm.
way easier. You don't have to deal with a fucking link every time.
They're like, what is the Discord? Is that the gamer one? I'm not a gamer.
Fair point. Like they
Uh,
like they've had to change their marketing to be like place for talking now, so that people
hmm
don't realize like, oh, it's more than just gaming. Like, yeah, dum dum, yeah.
Seriously.
But
It's
but
basically, yeah.
Mercurious really was just hyper focused on just the one thing, that being Smash. Later on, we would get like other franchise discussions where we could talk about Mario games or Metroid games, Fire Emblem, Sonic for some reason had a section. It's like, okay, nobody plays Sonic, but
Hmm.
whatever. There were no good Sonic games at the time. There were not.
No. Um, it's interesting. Let's go through a quick little look back on the entirety of what I can see here on the Mercurius homepage, for the forums rather.
Yeah, let's go
So
for it.
there was a general information area,
As you
where
do.
one, yeah, as you do, because there was a website that was linked to and is still available for viewing somehow, even though this forum has been dead since 2017 and has really been dead beforehand.
Oh yeah.
It's funny that the last ounce of activity that they got was a post in 2017 that was, is the website dead?
Yeah.
And it's like, it
Lit.
is.
A bit.
Hmm so cheers to that. But anyway, so there's like it's an information bulletin for the website, where the admin DK3 would upload our submissions, which are the equivalent of what we do here on this podcast with Smashtopia, where we go through and say, hey, here's an idea for a character or a stage or an assist trophy, what have you, and we're going to throw it on here in text form. And then DK3 would move it from the forum to the website if it were approved by a panel of members, who are trusted for that sort of thing. Like you and I were both part of that
Right.
judgment team for after a while.
Although the panel only came out years later. Yeah, originally it was just like
Yeah.
he would put anything that got submitted onto the site, whether it was good or not. Which I mean, hey, that's his right as a site admin. But eventually, there were all these topics about quality, and when they have quality submissions on the site, it's like, all right, let's build a council or whatever, and we rate submissions. Be like, okay, if they're good, we put them on. If it's one sentence description on what a character's attack is, probably needs some work.
Yeah, yeah, and in some ways we unwittingly made our own little functioning version of a congressional system that was actually nice and functional, and on the other hand, it was a way for us to continue kind of like our high schooler circle jerk for our ego as well. So it served all sorts of purposes. Uh,
Yeah.
Speaking more so on my ego, which was out of control when I was on this website as a kid.
Yeah, you were a little rough.
A little rough, but it's sad to say that not as rough as some others. But yeah, there was a general discussion area that was built over time. Oh, for a brief period of Mercurius history, I was actually a moderator and later an admin, so I got to make a lot of these
So
new
was I.
forums
Yeah.
in collaboration with you and DK3.
That was actually my
One of
first
them
coding
was,
experience, even though I didn't realize it was coding at the time.
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Super basic
Uh,
coding. Super basic.
oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. It was an efficient free forum, so it was all extremely basic juvenile CSS, but it was still pretty intriguing to go through at the time. But hold on, let's go through the rest of these. There's comings and goings where we would say, "Hey, I'm new here," and then everybody would come around and be like, "You're great," or someone would be like, "I'm leaving because I'm a teenager and like to create unnecessary drama on a Super Smash Brothers forum." That was me, and then you post that there too.
Yeah.
Uh, the description is, "We come, we go, we all just roll with the punches and roll with the flow." That was a song lyric from Eric Hutchinson. I thought that it was another forum that we later did, but was a little more explicit in terms of the comings and goings. Anyway, Smash Brothers Fantasy. I where we
That was
like
like a
just
story
made
mode, I think.
lists. Yeah, yeah. You can design your own complete content lists for your own fantasy Smash Brothers. Okay, interesting.
And that's more or less what Smashopia kind of is. We're just saying, like, we want
Mm-hmm,
all of this.
mm-hmm. Right. Oh, okay, that's true. That's true. And then there's games, tourneys, and role playing. So we would get together, make tourney brackets, make just play forum games. But most prominently was the role playing part sector.
Heh.
These were full-fledged free-form role plays that in many ways were less what you would expect from role play in terms it's not like a strategy title or a firm setup like Dungeons and Dragons. The freeform role playing that was happening on Super Smash Bros. Mercurious, which Jake actually helped to usher in, were like full-fledged collaborative stories that we would write on together. Um, so that was a big turning point for us. That was kind of like near the edge of the Mercurian map as far as the history goes. This was like what would you say, like 2015, 2014? No, actually, it was earlier than that. Um, 2012, I think, 2011 or 2012. We got together for the Ultimate Tournament, where we had all of our fictional characters that were our original characters for the most part, except for a couple members who were like, "Hey, I'm gonna put Darth Vader in this."
Yeah, yeah, and there was some debate over whether or not he should be allowed to use Darth Vader. But in the end, I think we were just like, fuck it. If he tries being OP with Darth Vader, then he loses. Because that's how the tournament was structured. Like, you can't just auto win. That's
Hmm.
nonsense.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Ultimate Tournament. I think that's something we should loop back around to later since it was such a big thing. But basically, it's as you would expect by the name. We were using our original characters and Darth Vader to engage in battles that would ultimately go up a bracket in this freeform roleplay setting, and then there would be a final two, and then there would be a winner, and that ended rather climactically, I might say. So
Anticlimactically, I might say.
we'll get back to it. Then there was a spam forum, but then we get into the meat of what made Mercurious for so long. I believe the site was founded in probably what mid 2006. So you were one of the for almost one of the members of the first wave. I think there was a first wave, and then you came along a few months later.
Pretty much, yeah.
Um,
I wasn't an
yeah, so
OG, but I was pretty damn close.
so you joined on December 28th, 2006.
Yep, I would have been 16 by then.
And I was gonna say I was born on. Uh,
That's a little bit weird.
I
Not gonna lie, it's a little
yeah,
bit weird.
yep,
So I don't
yep.
know why you would say that.
I I joined on September 4th, 2007, which, as my math would dictate, means I was 13 years old.
Yeah, you was a baby.
So, yes, I was. And,
Which is
that
really
was kind
weird
of
if you
like
think
the,
about it.
yeah, it
Especially
is.
when you realize that, like, we didn't know how old anyone was on the site. As far as I
Mm-hmm.
knew, everybody was around my age. I had no idea. And I kind of find out years later, I was like, holy shit, you were like 3 to 4 years younger than me. What the fuck?
Yeah, yeah, I'm as old as your brother.
It puts a lot of things into perspective. It puts a lot into perspective. Like holy shit. Especially when you think about other people like Flame Zone. Holy hell! What was he? 10?
He was 11 years old.
Was he actually?
He was actually 11 years old, yeah.
When he joined, or not just when you joined?
When he joined.
Holy shit!
Yeah,
It
Eric
all makes sense
is
now.
like, yeah, he's like, I'm 26 and he's like 23, I think. So he like just turned 11 when he joined Mercurious. Yeah. So there is that, and back in the day, like the written forum rules, like you have to be 13 years or older to be a part of this forum. And then he just kind of cheated the system, which I mean,
Like
honestly,
that's what everybody does off the internet. It's like, are you 13 or over? Everybody just clicks yes. It's like enter your birthday to enter here. It's like everyone's just like, all right, you're defaulting me to January 1st. I'll just take the year and make it be 1950. Hey, look, I'm old enough. The internet
that
lies.
that could apply to a lot of things.
Yeah. For some reason, Steam will ask me every now and then when I'm looking at different games, like, are you old enough to view this content? It's like, yeah. What? Why are you asking? You have my birthday in your records, Steam.
You're like, bitch, I'm almost 30 years old.
Almost. Actually, no, yeah. Almost. Once we hit November. I was trying to
Yep,
think,
once we
wait, when
hit
is this
November.
episode uploading again? Oh, right, not yet. Oh,
Yeah, it's uploading August 1st, which is why I said happy August at the top of the podcast.
yeah.
It's not actually August while we record this, but it's close enough.
Yeah, it's pretty
It's
close.
close enough. Yeah, so
It's
happy
still
August.
August.
Not a whole lot has changed, but I mean, Corona's still in the world. The world generally still sucks, but at least you're listening to this podcast,
I mean, hey,
which
dude, I did not expect meth raptor to start hitting the U.S. shores. That was not on my apocalypse bingo.
neither did I. I agree. Now that you mention it, I did not expect Jeb Bush to suddenly come out as a strong contender for the White House bid. So
I mean, it helps when
there's
you have a bazooka in your arm. You can just point at people and be like, "You want to vote for me, or do you want to get bazookaed?" Because we can go either way with this.
please
Finding out he was
clap.
a cyborg, I was shocked.
Seriously, there's a just I just said this is horrible, but at least we know now.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, at least we know now. I was really kind of wondering what that group chat was going to be about when you added us onto it, but it's unbelievable in the worst way that he would do that with the bazooka and the whole robotic thing. But I think we'll make it through. We'll make it through. Speaking of please clapping, though, that's kind of what we basically wanted people to do with our character submissions, or stage submissions, or item submissions
Yeah.
on Mercurious. Um, so here you have a 13-year-old boy, right? And he is
Yeah, that's weird.
enamored by Smash Brothers and enamored by video games in general. And DK3 has gone on to GameFAQs and was toting around this roster image that is infamous. It is still out there on Google when you're like Super Smash Brothers fan roster and put it on Google Images. It's near the top of the list of
Oh
things that
yeah.
people recall in our community.
Like
Because
if
DK3
you
spent this
Google Super
time.
Smash Brothers roster, you're gonna find this massive ass. I think it was hexagonal. This
Yeah,
roster that he created with all these crazy characters. Like, okay, sure, Cloud Strife isn't as crazy as he is, as you thought he would be last back then. But it'll also be like Darth Vader will be on there, or other real life things. I actually tried just googling it. Oh no, there it is. Yeah, I just found it.
nice.
I had to scroll a little bit to locate it, but it's got a fuck ton of characters on it. Jesus Christ. It says like in the bottom of the corner, 2006 DK3 SSB Mercurious at Massoft.net. That's one of the ways he was trying to get people on the site. He'd be like, hey, look at this. You can have 6 playable characters at once. If you want to play as TT, the time trial clock from Diddy Kong Racing, yeah, we got it on here. Gex, Diskun, Goemon, Chef Kawasaki. I can't see them a lot because this image is kind of blurry. Shigeru Miyamoto's The Sandbag, Lady Bow from Paper Mario. It's like, what? What did you do, DK3? Why did you do this? But
And I believe there was
it's
a
honestly
Star Trek
a
ensemble on there too.
yeah, I think that's right. Like it's kind of an infamous image from way back when. I
Oh yeah.
don't think a lot of people will remember it, but like if they were to see it, they'd be like, "Oh wow, yeah, I've seen this. Holy crap!" Like yeah,
Hmm.
it's some nonsense.
Yeah, so my recollection is that he just started building this even pre-Mercurious, and then realizing what kind of validity he was able to take from posting that image and people
I mean,
praising it in the early days of the internet. Yeah,
it
he
has
made
the link to
Mercurious.
the site in the image.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Nice.
it's SSB Mercurius that mass off the nets right there, and the website is still live. I went to check it, and you can still look at the most recent iteration of the website. He kept deleting it and taking it down several times and would reset how it looks, but so not every submission that was ever made on the forum is on the site, but you can still look at shit. It's got a link to the forum. It's got a wiki. The last, yeah, there was a wiki at some point. I did
Hmm.
the lion's share of the work. And really, the wiki was just another place where you could see all the move sets. It was really just another version of the website, honestly.
Yeah,
But it gave me
I think it
something to
was.
do.
Yeah, and I think you kind of shared that charge into developing the wiki because you were frustrated with DK3 for all of the times that he did come in and say, hey,
Yeah,
this feels like an inferior version of the website. Let's just wipe it clean and redo the entire HTML and see what we can make with it.
right. I
Um,
understand, as a developer, as a website designer, he wants to update the site, improve how it looks, and do better coding. But he didn't need to wipe all the movesets off of there. That's what upset me every time. It's like, no, you don't
oh,
got to
yeah.
do that.
Hmm.
Like you can, granted, the way the site was made at the time, each page, like it's very amateurish compared to websites now, extremely, because each page had all the coding on it instead of sort of like using a base formatting and you can just insert everything else into.
Hmm.
But oh god, so it would have been honestly a pain on his end to reconvert everything, but
Hmm.
still disappointing.
Yeah, it is. It's also interesting too because all of the hyperlink, the address to this website is ssbmercurious.matsoft.net.
Yep.
So Matsoft was DK3's brother, and if you just go to matsoft.net, you can see the other things that Matt developed, and it's just kind of funny. It gives you a good look at what the internet used to look like from the early to mid 2000s down towards the 90s and the 80s.
Yeah.
Just everything is just it's just sheer HTML menagerie work. It is really kind of strangely charming and nostalgic, but also just disturbing. I'm like, wow, thank God we moved past all of that. Um, it's a good reminder too that back in 2007, when I joined on September 4th, 2007, people were still, using pagers and beepers and PDAs and
Oh yeah.
flip phones. It was a totally different world from what we're in now. Totally different world, which kind of, I think, informed the development of my first character on Mercurius that I submitted for approval from DK3 and everyone else. Do you want to know what it was?
Hit it.
Yeah. Okay. There was a title that was rather popular on Flash at the time, and it was on my mom's cell phone, which was just an LG flip phone uh, that she got. It was a miracle that now people are getting cell phones that weren't the size of a regular phone or the size of a large cat. So we're entering that new era where they were sleek and sensual and beautiful little phones that by today's standards are already ancient rocks. Um, but there was a game that she bought on there to pass the time called Elf Bowling, and I got the elf from Elf Bowling from my mom's Neolithic cell phone game
Oh
and
Jesus.
made it into a Super Smash Bros. Character with a fully realized moveset.
Why?
I don't know. And I like how some of the comments were like, why as well? Because there was Captain Ult, who was one of the OG members, I believe, and he was like,
I
I don't
don't
know.
know.
I just don't know. um, but then there was another dude, Kamek guy, amazingly weird. Weird spelled Wierd because he was also 13 years old at the time, and he's now scarred by the character. Incredible, incredible endorsements, I must say. Um, and these elves were very trolly too. So, literally, some of the taunts that I have up here, elf makes a farting noise. Amazing.
I mean, your Final
Elf says in a
Smash is
squeaky voice, "You stink." Yep.
your Final Smash is Elf takes out a huge bowling ball as large as the stage and rolls it across the field, dealing 100% damage to anyone opponent by the ball. Anyone opponent. Fuck. I mean, I mean, listen. I had some stinkers too. I'm not gonna deny that. Oh boy. But what? What?
Elf says in a squeaky voice, "You stink."
You stink. Probably what you
Oh
sounded like
man.
too. I'm betting.
Oh yeah, it was pretty close. Otherwise, it's pretty pedestrian. It's Elf rolls a bowling ball for the standard, which realistic, throwing some random object, dirt, snowball,
Pocket
frog,
sand.
rock. Some of these things were actually in the game, and some of them weren't.
Yeah, did he actually throw Santa Claus?
No, but in Elf Bowling, you could accidentally kill frogs by squishing them with a bowling ball as they,
What?
yeah, as they hopped across the alley, and then it accounted for extra points.
What
So
is
that's
this
where the
game?
that's where the frog and the deer came from. I don't know. I'll gift it
No.
to you on Steam.
No, please don't. Well, actually, you know what? That could make a funny video.
There's parachutes. Elf uses a parachute to fly into the sky. I mean, that's from the game as well. There's a protest sign that Elf holds up a sign saying Santa stinks because he is a capitalist fascist who makes these elves work nonstop every day of the year. So that was also part of the game, and it's just a counter move. So if you hit the elf at this moment, he'll push you a few feet back with the sign. Not the most creative moveset. If I went back to recreate this moveset, it would be a lot more effervescent, so to speak.
Robust.
But to think that this was the first idea, I was like, I know how I'm going to make a great first impression uh, on this new website that I was appealed to by DK3 through GameFAQs and through this other Smash Brothers fan site I was on beforehand for a couple of months. I can't remember the name, but it was run by this guy named Josh Cube, who was fairly infamous in game FAQs at the time,
Oh wait, I
and
think I
he
know that
was
guy.
really.
No.
Oh, okay. Well, he was another DK3. Or DK3 was known for producing that giant roster image. Josh Cube was known for having so to say, a fetish for Marin from Link's Awakening.
That kind of sounds like our friend Flamezone and Saria, or our friend Flamezone and Camilla.
Maybe, but Josh would like very loudly and proudly in public forum space say this, and DK3 was a part of that forum too and invited me over. Anyway, so that's and I was like, hey, here's an elf from Elf Bowling, and I'm sure everyone at the time was probably in the staff lounge being like, wow, maybe we should regret inviting him.
I mean,
Uh,
I don't remember seeing it at the time, so I don't know. I don't think I ever
uh,
really looked at movesets for characters who I didn't know, so I probably never even read it.
you didn't miss out on much. Of course, that probably attests to on the Super Smash Brothers fandom wiki that you were talking about earlier. There's a page that describes myself, and I think you wrote it.
Oh
So
God, did I?
you wrote at least the first few sentences.
Oh God, I gotta look at this.
Um, it
What did
says
I do?
yeah, it introduces itself as Jonno is one of the stranger members we have in Mercurious.
Ah, that sounds like me.
Yep.
He joined the site back on September 4th, 2007, and has since become a staff member and a member of the judges panel. His favorite games are the Fire Emblem series, Paper Mario, The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker, Final Fantasy IV, Gradius, and Okami.
Incredible. It is, yeah. Wait, what?
Wait, Naruto got banned? I don't remember that.
Yeah, that was, speaking of infamy, that was a big day.
Huh. And then Troll Day. I don't remember this Troll Day thing happening.
So yeah, there were movements. There was Mercurious was mostly populated by teenage children.
Yeah, that's true.
So teenage children get into teenage children antics. And the teenage children decided one day, a faction of them, who were more nefarious of heart, decided to get together on Mercurious and just spam the heck out of the website with very crude images. Some of them, I would say, not even good for the eyes at that age.
Hmm.
So, and Naruto, there was somebody who was a troll who was named themselves after Naruto from Naruto, and had a Naruto avatar and everything, and they were just a total prick the entire time. I always hated them. And they just led the charge because I think DK3 warned him for something, and then he got mad, and then decided to lead that charge with a few other people that were like his friends.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah. So then we
he didn't make good moves either. It's like, what the hell, dude?
No, he was definitely very low tier, extreme, like the worst that ever came out of Mercurius or any of its subsequent lives. When we used to go out of our way, like when DK3 would be like, "Oh, I'm gonna cancel the website again and redo it and put it under construction, and I'm gonna leave the forum for several months again because I'm off doing whatever in school," then we would be like, "Oh, we should make a Super Smash Bros. Mercurius too. We should make a Super Smash Bros. Xevious."
That name
Just
was my idea.
yeah, it was a good idea. It was a good idea.
And hey, there's
Um,
Xevious content in Smash Brothers now, so I fucking love it.
I know,
Or rather,
I
there
know.
was, because the Baccarat was an enemy in Smash Run for Smash 4, but we don't
hmm
have Smash Run or Xevious content in Smash anymore. Not in Ultimate, I mean.
I
But it was on Smash 4.
I think there was
Yes.
there was, or rather, the ship from Exedius is part of Pac-Man's taunt still.
I thought that's a ship from Gradius.
No, Gradius is a Konami game.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Yeah. Wait, hold up. Okay. Well, guess who's loading up the Smash Wiki to look up Pac-Man's taunts? Let's see here,
DK3.
because, goddamn Kuro that has its own fucking page on the page. Okay, they got the ships from... Oh, yeah, there's a ship from... Two things from Xevious are in his taunt. The Solvalu and the Andor Genesis, which is an enemy mothership.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. And then you also got Old Man Heihachi. Rip Heihachi.
I know, and rip his voice actor too.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, it's interesting. Heihachi is the closest thing we have to Heihachi and Smash is that taunt and Incineroar. How wonderful.
And then the Smash 4
Oh, and
Mii
the Mii costume.
costume.
Yep,
Which isn't back in
yep.
Ultimate yet, so you never... Oh, no, it is back in Ultimate. That's
It
right.
is. It
It
is.
got added
It is.
alongside Min Man.
Min.
I
Yep.
forgot about that.
Also, that kind of leads us. Like we were kind of pitching names back and forth with that Xevious knockoff that you and I developed that ultimately didn't go anywhere, but it led to another form later on that's more noteworthy.
Club Trevor?
Mercurius was a game for the what?
Club
No,
Trevor?
no. Club Trevor was just something that we made as a side project, just to like a community thing, based on Trevor for no reason, and that was a fun time too. There's a lot of Trevor themed things in my life, so yeah, good times. No, Mercurius was a game on Commodore 64.
Yeah. which is why we
So
picked Xevious as the name for our little rebrand. Because we're like, hey, Mercurious was named after a game. Let's name ours after an old retro game too.
yeah, absolutely. Um, so there's that. So that was kind of my first foray into Mercurius and just enjoying that. I think that you and I started working together later on. Like we crossed paths a couple times. We're like, hey, this is a nice moveset you made. Yeah, this is a nice moveset you made.
Yeah, I literally don't know
And then
where
it's
the chat communication started with us. I don't remember or why.
nor do I, but I do know that we added each other on MSN Live Messenger, which is also pretty much dead in the water by
Oh yeah,
now.
MSN is dead, isn't it? Yahoo's still kicking.
AOL is dead.
Oh yeah, everyone knows AOL is dead.
Yep.
Even though they
Yep.
only dropped Instant Messenger like a couple years ago.
Yeah. It's an interesting little tidbit. Those little live messenger things all got tossed out the window so we can have better chat apps like Discord or I guess Skype, except Skype kind of sucks now.
Skype at one time was good. There was a time when Skype was good. Then they got bought by Microsoft, and
Yeah,
they
and then
started
Microsoft
becoming
hid.
less good.
Yeah, they hid a lot of stuff behind a paywall that was free before.
Yeah,
hmm
and
And
now when you
Discord.
get a new Windows machine, it comes with Skype pre-installed. It's like, ew, no, I don't want this.
Seriously,
Uninstall.
it's like being given a smelly boot as your wedding present.
Hmm.
Yep, which I am totally gonna do for the first of us that gets married.
Well, it's a good thing neither of us will ever get married then.
Yep, yep. It's probably gonna be Jake.
Yeah, no, it's Trevor.
Probably gonna be, yeah, one or the other. One or the other.
I mean, isn't he engaged?
Yes, he is.
Yeah, so it's gonna be Trevor.
That'll be an interesting time. Maybe we can bring back Club Trevor for the occasion.
Oh God. No, we can induct her into Club Trevor. Oh, Trevor, I hope you're not watching this right now.
Don't worry, he's not. Our friends never listen to this.
It's true. The
So...
only one that does is Eric. Hey, Eric. How's it going?
I'm doing great, except for the time you mentioned me in Saria.
I also mentioned you and Camilla.
Oh yeah. Well, that's also good, I guess. Yay. Okay.
Oh, Eric,
How
you
was
know we just tease you.
I know, just like when I teased you on Super Smash Bros. Mercurius and stole your moveset for Pokemon Trainer Red to make my Pokemon Trainer Blue.
God, I was so fucking mad when he did that. I created a moveset. Just let's get into the backstory of this since it's been brought up, and I figured this would be brought up. I
Mm-hmm.
figured, okay, so this moveset came about after Smash Bros. Brawl, and I was like, okay, hey, cool. It's cool that we have the Pokemon Trainer, but what if Pokemon Trainer could fight on his own? Because I was always kind of disappointed. I was like, okay, he's just in the background commanding the Pokemon. That's a little bit lame. It's like, okay, what we're gonna do to make the Pokemon Trainer fight on his own, like on the field, and then I'll have a different trainer replace him for the traditional Pokemon Trainer moveset with Squirtle and whatnot, which became the Trainer Leaf moveset, because Leaf was
Mm-hmm.
the female counterpart in Fire Red Leaf Green. And so I had him like he could throw a rock from like the Safari Zone. He could ride his bike. I don't remember what else I had him do. But then at some point later, I saw a moveset for Blue, which is Red's rival, and it was created by Flame Zone. And I'm reading, I'm just like, that is word for word one of my attacks for Red. What the hell? Bitch, what? And I commented and I called his bitch ass out. I'm trying to find the post right now, but I'm not seeing it. Because this
You
forum
call them
that they
out.
turned into, the forum that Mercurius turned into with whole tap talk and whatnot, it's a pain to try and find everything. Actually, oh, I don't see it at all. Unless his
Wow.
account turned into this Dojo TL person.
No, they were different people.
No, this is him. This is Flamezone. For some reason, his username
Oh,
is now
really?
Dojo TL. Yeah, because I found my comment on that page. Yeah,
Really?
I started off saying, I don't mean to sound like a complete and total jerk when I say this, Dojo. Wait, maybe that was his original name and he turned to Flame Zone later? What the fuck? Wait, hold on.
I don't recall this.
No, wait, was it not Flame Zone the whole time? Wait a fucking minute. It's not, that's not. Oh no. I've been giving him shit all these years and it was him. Oh my god. Oh no.
Now I know
What?
why we did this episode.
No.
Holy crap.
Oh my god, because I actually in the post refer to him as Dojo. In my whole post too, like I wasn't making a complete dick when I said like I actually gave him suggestions on how he could change up the moveset and not have it just be like a copy of mine. And then he
Mm-hmm.
just copied my suggestions and that became his new moveset. I was like, okay, well, I essentially made a moveset for you. You're fucking welcome, bitch. Fuck. No way.
it it was not Eric the whole time.
All these years, I've been blaming him.
When was
Dojo
this post
TL,
made?
if you're out there, fuck you. Fuck you. I'm kidding, but fuck you. Wow. This was posted October 17th, 2009.
Holy moly.
Wow.
Almost 11 years ago, so at least there's that. You were 19 at the time.
And he only joined the group, the site in April 2009. So he hadn't been around that long.
No. And it was probably
Damn.
one of those situations too where he was probably 11 or 12 years old.
Probably, yeah. Which is why like I didn't want to be a complete ass to him in my
Mm-hmm.
response cuz we've all been there. Oh,
Yeah.
holy fuck.
Yeah.
No way.
I should. Oh, Dojo TL. I remember when I created the Elf Bowling Elf in 2007.
I'm stunned right now.
So am I.
Fuck.
So am I. Oh man.
I
I
wasn't
think we should
expecting this.
probably apologize to Eric as well. while
I
we're
mean,
on
we don't
this.
need to because he's gonna watch this episode and then he'll hear me say I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's also true. Okay.
Fuck. My life is a lie.
That's kind of the wonder of childhood memories. The further you dig back, the
Is this
likelier it
Mandela
is.
effect?
That could also be
Because
true.
I don't remember Dojo TL at all. Like, I remember people like, James 007, Brawlinator, Fuzzy Dude, Captain O, Pretty Pink Pony, Kamek Guy,
Hmm.
Naruto Uzumaki, Akakievich, who was known by a different name that I'm not remember. No, Nobisawa. That's what he
Nobusawa.
was. He was
Yeah, yeah,
Nobisawa.
yeah.
Ultra Kintaro.
Hmm.
Twilix, who back then went by Metasamus. Nightmare.
Parrot Head.
Ebit. I don't remember Parrothead. I don't remember
Nightmare
Parrothead.
was a great
I
member.
do briefly remember the
Great
Ziggy
member.
Stardust person.
Yeah, he was near the very end. He was like post by the time we left, and then came back in like 2013.
Yeah. I think Meta Shadow was also Twilix, but I might not be correct on that. I think he had lost his password at one point.
Oh,
But holy shit.
um, yeah, yeah. You want to know something funny too? You know how Trevor,
Who, Fuzzy Dude?
Turbo
Yeah.
Taxer. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You know what? You want to know how Trevor Turbo Taxer got his username on Mercurious?
I feel like
So
we've talked about it before on podcast.
maybe we have. Maybe we have. You can dive back into the Porky episode. But just for a very brief synopsis, he swapped his username and his password and mistook them for one another when signing up.
Yep. His password was supposed to be TurboTaxer because he was looking at TurboTax.
Uh-huh.
It's like, what?
Yep.
I mean, funnily enough, at one point, here's a password story for me. I was trying to come up with a new password at some point. I was looking around the room I was in, and I saw like that Mindstorm kind of like I don't think it was Legos, but it was like a something to that effect. But it was called Mindstorm. It's like, oh, Mindstorm, that could be a cool password. It's not a real word, so nobody could guess that. And then I typed Brainstorm as my password. It's like, wait, fuck. Oh well. Fuck it. And I used that for years. I don't use it anymore anywhere, so that's why I don't care about sharing the story. But
Yeah, yeah.
oops.
And and I know for a fact too that Trevor's moved on from this password a long time ago because he's no longer 15 years old and doesn't use it anymore.
Yeah.
Um, so his username was going to be T Austin 15,
Ooh,
and
Trevor
his
Thatcher is
password was
better.
going to be so much better because T Austin 15, that's just his first initial, his middle name, and his age. So
Yeah, that's not good.
no, no, it's not.
So
It's not.
something I'm liking doing when we're looking at Mercurious here is like when I see a character moveset that's for like a character that's actually in Smash or that we've made movesets for ourselves. I open it up and I like to compare. And I found DK3's version of Waluigi, who we did a Smashtopia episode of, our first Smashtopia episode. And I'm just looking at his movesets here. It's like, okay, standard special. He tosses two whiskered eggplants. It's one of his moves from like it's like his pitch from Mario Strikers, I think, or not Strikers, Superstar Baseball. It's like, okay, sure, they can bounce around kind of like fireballs, I guess. His side special is Drop Rocket, where he launches a small missile-shaped rocket in front of him. Who gave Waluigi a rocket launcher? Why? Up special, no, we're Luigi. That's standard. That's fine. Down special is
Hmm.
Bob Bomb Bomb, not Bob Bomb Lob, where he just rolls Bob Bombs along the ground. And then his final
Okay.
smash is Wall Luigi, which that's fair.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
It's like that's actually
Um,
probably one of his better movesets. It's, honestly, DK3, most of his movesets were lower quality. I feel like
I
he had a
agree.
lot that were
I
just
agree.
like a sentence or two of description, but I think this one's okay. This one's not bad for him.
Yeah, the whiskered eggplant is a little out there, but it's entertaining
Yeah.
to think about. Oh man, I wonder, about him sometimes. Like if we had him as a guest on this show, we'd probably eat him alive in Smashtopia.
We
But
could
at
not
the
have him on as a guest. We've talked too much shit on him. It's not
that's
happening.
also true. That's
Plus,
also
how could
true.
we ever get a hold of him? He ghosted like crazy multiple times over. Like
That's
I don't
also
know
true.
how we would
That's
ever
also
find
true.
out anything about the guy.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Oh, it's a stone left unturned, but at the same time, at the very least, we can be grateful for the legacy he left behind because it's so strange. Ultimately, because of DK3 making Mercurious and inviting us to Mercurious,
This podcast
or like
exists.
other people like Kamek Guy or whoever also like being his envoys and inviting you to Mercurious, is how we know each other now. It's how we know Jake now. It's how we know Eric now. It's how you got to know Trevor. And it's how we have the group of friends that we do today that is still
Yeah.
pretty on top of keeping up with each other for the most part.
I honestly don't know where I would be in life right now if not for Mercurius. It
I
was a very
concur.
big defining part of my life.
Yeah, me too. Me too, absolutely. I met the closest group of friends I've ever had through Mercurius, which is so strange and probably not something that a lot of people would be able to say now because forums are such a dead activity.
Yeah.
It would have to be through some sort of social group that they find through social media, which has all of its own other little caveats, or a MMO or something, which that's fine. As you and I both know, I was playing MMOs for a long time too during that period.
I don't have the patience for
Um,
those. Fuck that.
yeah, yeah,
I also I don't like doing like multiplayer games with people who I don't know. I, I can't do
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. That's also fair. That's also fair. I mean, all the friends that I made through playing MMOs when I was 13 years old are on a lower tier than the friends that I know through Mercurius, frankly. With rare exception. There's a couple people from back then that I still talk with, but I knew like 20 people back then from those games, and I know probably four now.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where that went. I mean, Mercurius though. Yeah, so thanks CK3 and thanks Mercurius for that. It's kind of amazing how that whole saga has unfurled into what it is today, where Super Cast Brothers wouldn't exist if not for Mercurius.
Yeah.
Um, speaking, let's keep the let's keep the conversation train going though. What was your first submission? I'm curious.
So I actually posted 3 submissions on the same day for myself. My very first post contained 3 different submissions. So I was just like, oh my god, this place is fucking awesome. These are my people. I need to post something amazing so that
Mm-hmm.
I can be involved in this. And my very first submissions were for Mega Man.exe, an alternate moveset for Mega Man.exe, and the classic Mii. Regular Mii's not Mii Fighter, just a regular old Mii from Wii Sports. Wii Sports Resort did not exist yet, so I could only pull from Mii Sports. So that was a thing. I'm trying to. There it is. Okay, I just found it. So I did 2 movesets for Mega. One of them was based on like different Mega or battle chips that he could use in the game. The other one was based on like the different styles, souls, and cross system that he could use. So like I'm looking at this here. His moveset, it was honestly this was not a great one. If I did him again someday, it would be completely different. Probably none of the same attacks, most likely.
Yeah.
But like his standard special was just the Mega Buster, because like back then, everybody was like, oh, if Mega Man gets in, his standard special will be Mega Buster. That's just it makes sense. And Sakura's just like, lol, it's Side Smash Bros. It's like what? Huh? Okay, like
Uh-huh.
I'm cool with it
Mm-hmm.
because it's very cool. It's very unique and different, and it lets him use different Robot Master abilities for his actual specials. Like that's awesome. But I
Mm-hmm.
was caught off guard. But like his side special would have been like using one of several different sword battle chips, which have like varying ranges or elemental effects and damage, like regular sword, wide sword, long sword, hero sword, fire, aqua, elect, bamboo, step sword, which is just like he dashes forward and then attacks, Muramasa, and then the Moonblade, which is a 360-degree circle. His up special was air shoots. It's basically just an extra jump and had like a slow glide similar to Peach's parasol. And his down special is literally a reflector, where the shield stays up for 3 seconds. What the fuck? No, that's OP. No, 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 no. Oh my god, why did I do that? The worst part of it though was the final smash I made. Uh, it's based off of a program advance in the games where you can summon 2 allies to do like a mass attack on the whole field, and I decided to translate that by having, this is verbatim here in what I typed, Colonel and Protoman both appear behind the stage. Colonel unleashes his attack on the left side of the stage, and Protoman on the right. If hit by either attack, you will receive 50% damage. What the fuck? That is not good. That is not
No, it is not.
good. It's not good.
It's not.
It's
No.
very bad. Because first of all, I'm not even describing what their attacks are or what they're like or anything. I'm just like 50% damage. Murr. Like what? If I was on the judges panel, I'd be like, no, that is
Uh-huh.
bad. And
Hey,
like
at least
his,
it's better than Elf Bowling Elf.
I mean, I mean, and like for his like Soul Unison and Double Cross moveset, I was like, okay, standard
Mm-hmm.
special, he turns into Roll Soul, and he can fire off an arrow from his bow. It's like, okay. Side special, Colonel Soul. He swings his sword. It's basically sword again, just with different range. Up special is Tengu Cross. He creates a tornado and spins up in the air. Down special is Protosol. It's the reflector again. It's literally the reflector. Except it doesn't reflect stack. Instead, it's more like a counter in that. Actually, yeah, it's a counter, but it still stays up for 3 seconds. What the fuck did I do? And his Final Smash, he turns from like one of Final Smash actually for this one is kind of cool because it can be one of 4 different things, and it's randomly chosen. Each one has their own different attack and range, so that's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
But like I put that out there, and people just like this. One of the big members of the side saying Pretty Pink Pony was super fucking impressed, and I don't know why looking back. But they're just saying like, wow. I mean, wow. That Mega Man WXC moveset is quite possibly one of the most thought out submissions ever. I think I love you. Please stay. Don't leave us. We're really nice. Really. And, you know, at the time, maybe it was the most thought out submission ever. Over time, it would be trounced.
Oh,
Holy shit.
oh yeah.
My Mii move
Mm-hmm.
set was super simple as well. It's just like, okay, swings a baseball bat, rolls a bowling ball, uh, lobs a tennis ball, swings a golf club.
Yeah.
Simple shit.
Mm-hmm.
But God,
Um,
I honestly don't know why it won the Best of December award for that month too. It's like what? Okay. I mean, I guess. I guess.
there were there were it was a different time, that's for sure.
Yeah, no kidding. Like
Holy moly.
looking back on it now, it is such a shit submission. Part of me wants to go back and make another Mega Man moveset, but I'm paralyzed by choice of what he can do because there's so many goddamn chips that he could use. Sword honestly probably has to be in there somewhere. It's not a special. It'd be like a side mass or some shit. But
Hmm.
God, there's just too many different attacks.
Yeah, there
It's
is.
just too much.
There are. Pretty Pink Pony, though, he was a pretty cool guy
Yeah.
at the time. He was pretty even keel, a voice of reason amidst all of the crazy noise that could happen on Mercurious sometimes. And then we later figured out, of course, that that's because he was older than you.
Yeah. And I
Like he was,
like the
yeah,
older three members of the site would have been Pretty Pink Pony, DK3, and myself.
yeah, yeah. So let's say that DK3 is probably close to 40 now, and Pretty Pink Pony was somewhere in the middle, and then you're on the younger end of that spectrum.
Yeah.
Uh, so Pretty Pink Pony, he was a guy who kind of predated our taste a little bit. Like he was into Fire Emblem when he was only able to import titles like pre-Melee. He was into Persona, so he had these sort of interests that later we would be informed by and on our personal taste as well.
Man,
He was a
he
very
must have been
grounded
hype
guy.
as fuck when Joker got revealed.
He was actually because I follow him on Twitter still. So he's not someone who's like really pertinent in either of our lives anymore, but I do keep up with him occasionally. If you ever knew like Pixel Tendo, which was an offshoot, was started as an offshoot of the Spiders Resource, that was more of a pixel art area, um, for that kind of thing, creative type people. So even before Mercurius as a part of the Spiders Resource, and then that turned into Pixel Tendo. And Pretty Pink Pony was an admin on there. He was an admin on VG District, I think, as well, which were two very prominent gaming and spriting forums at the time, around 2010 through 2015 or 16. So if you were a part of that scene, you knew him. You knew Daza, you knew Tonberry 2K, those kind of people. So he kind of raised himself out of the perdition of Mercurius and became a very notable member of the community at large in Smash and Nintendo and gaming. Um, and now he runs a comic book shop in Pennsylvania. So he kind of had a cool close out on that entire chapter of his life. He had a happy self-starter kind of ending, so good for him.
Yeah. He's
You know that
probably of all the Mercurius people, he's probably become the most successful.
Yeah, and I mean, given we're in younger shoes, so we all still have our opportunity, but he
Mm,
definitely at the yeah. So at the, he is certainly an interesting guy and deserves the success that he's had. So good for him. You should check him out. T3H underscore Kaiser on Twitter. You can get more information on his shop that way. And if you're in the area, go and visit it. I would like to do that one of these days.
absolutely.
Um, yeah. Who are some other like flagstone members? Would you say
Kamek
that are?
guy.
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
Like
absolutely.
when I joined, like the people who I saw was like, okay, DK3 is the founder, and like the two big guns were Pretty Pink Pony and Kamek guy. Kamek guy was kind of like you in a way, like very very out there in some ways, and just you never know what to expect with him.
Hmm.
He had some quirks.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
He was a big champion
Uh,
of Kamek getting his match of Cranky Kong. He loved the really strange characters that would be so weird to have, but it was like, yeah, you've convinced me. I'm down for this
hmm
shit. Let's go.
hmm Yeah, yeah, and part of that too. he was one of the first, he was probably the first user in all of Mercurious to release detailed submissions.
Right.
And when I say detailed, they were like ridiculous. They were, Smash boards, character, proposition, forum level craziness, where they are accompanied by images occasionally, but far more often it was just him writing paragraph after paragraph after paragraph for a singular move.
Yep.
And that would be later on the style that I would sort of cop from off of and learn
We both
from
did.
was yeah, so you and I became far more detailed. I think, Jake became far more detailed. Eric kind of did too. And it was because Kamikai kind of set that standard, whereas DK3 and Pretty Pink Pony even. Pretty Pink Pony was probably the smartest guy in the room and probably still would be if he were with us still.
Yeah.
Um, but he released underwhelming movesets by comparison to Kamikai. For a while, we all did. Eventually, we caught up with him, but it took years.
It did.
It took years. I
He
remember,
was
like, he would do
insane.
Cranky Kong. Yeah, he would do Cranky Kong for sure. He also did Bathtub Mario,
Oh God.
as I recall. Just all sorts of so out there ideas um, that could theoretically happen, but probably
Mm,
shouldn't.
I don't know that
Hmm.
Bathtub Mario is ever gonna happen.
Oh, you'd be surprised. Look at the Mario Kart Tour roster.
You know what? That's a fair point. That's a fair point. But we're talking about Smash.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Smash is only a few steps away from Mario Kart Tour. Not really. Smash is a much better thing. Thank God. This isn't Mario Kart Tour Brothers, that our podcast. Yeah, Kamek Guy too is someone who kind of felt drifted off for a while. I like to keep tabs on old members when I can and reach out to him. And I was trying to find him for years, and he finally cropped up. He finally cropped up last year.
Really?
When I like got an MSN. I went on MSN Live for some reason just to kind of like look over what it used to be like for us as when we were younger, and there was a notification from him on there, like a status update that was far more recent, and it was talking about a YouTube thing, and so he runs a YouTube page called Designing For, and every single thing is talking about game design, and
Oh
it's a
yeah,
pretty
yeah,
cool.
that's right.
Yeah, and it's a pretty cool series. He follows the same idea that some people do, like ACG Gaming does, or The Completionist, or Ant Dude, or Space Hamster. People like that, where they are like, "Hey, here's an aspect of a game from the past, and we're gonna dive into it." Like designing for experience, designing for blah blah. Basically, he hones
Lovely
in
do
on
lay low.
a certain game. Yeah, he hones in on a certain game, and then he's just like, here's how they designed for this aspect of the gameplay loop, or this aspect of the graphical presentation, the audio presentation, um, or like designing for depth, designing. Yeah, so it's an interesting premise, and he's seen some good success with it. Um, More so than we have so far with this venture. But he's
Or
been
me
at
with my Let's
yeah,
Plays.
that's also true. But it comes with the territory where he's been doing it a little longer. He has method to his madness per se, like he always has.
Oh yeah.
Um, so again, wishing him the best, and figured we'd do that little plug. Yeah, Kamek Guy for sure was a touchstone member as well. Um, But we're talking about DK3 and Kamek Guy and Pretty Pink Pony, people who shaped Mercurious for the Jakes and the Erics and the Trevors and the Yus and the Me's and the Twilixes.
Yep. They were
And
Generation
in
One.
yeah, exactly, in inspirational ways, positive ways, encouraging positive movement. And there were other members too like that. Um, like Nightmare was a great member, like I mentioned earlier.
Oh yeah.
Came around a little later, and he was over time. He just kind of drifted away from us, but he was a very quality submitter, and later on a quality role player as well. Um, yeah. but beyond those kind of people, I would say there was another side to Mercurious's legacy that was more vi you know vivacious per se. The James 007s and the Nobusawas of the
The
party, if you will.
Akakivich,
Yeah, yeah.
Naruto.
There were some notable semi trolls, but these were not like the Narutos of the scene that were very clearly trolls. These were people that were probably trying to be taken seriously.
Yeah, I don't
And
think oh Nobusawa. I don't think Nobusawa was ever really a troll. I just don't think he was probably also on the younger side, and he just played games that none of us knew or cared much about, and we always just gave him shit for doing a fuck ton of characters from Samurai Warriors or Dynasty Warriors, or he did a lot of Fire Emblem characters as well. But he never really branched out of that, and it was there. I think there was definitely a language barrier there. We're pretty sure he was Russian, and
oh
I
yeah,
honestly I don't feel like we gave him the fairest shake that we should have. But
no, I agree.
Naruto can go fuck himself though. Naruto can go fuck himself.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Nobusawa was you had to really be there to see it. The way that he spoke was
Broken English.
quite entertaining. Yeah, it was broken English, and when you're 14 years old and stupid and whatever, it's entertainment value, and then you make fun of it, and I don't look back on that proudly.
No.
Uh, but yeah, we
It's
did
really the
not
same
give
thing for
Nobusawa the fair
James
shake.
too. Like we treated James
Yeah,
pretty poorly.
yeah, James.
Smash
he
kid,
he.
fly through sky. The past
Yep.
still wants me. He gave us some good quotes.
Yeah, he
Wasn't
he
there something
he
about a
spoke
bush?
in. Yeah. I wrote a submission one day. So James was from Australia. And I was probably 16 at the time. He was like 13. And again, there's like a language thing, but it's because he said some pretty out there stuff.
Yeah,
And one of them was just like, "You beauty, I want to jump in bush with you."
that's where you get it
And
from.
yeah, so that I don't understand what jumping in the bush has to do with anything, but the bush is the equivalent of another a wild landscape in Australia, and he's from
Yeah,
Australia. So jumping in the bush with me, I'm assuming that means that he regards me as someone that he respects enough to play with, which is still strange if you think about it too
it's
far,
probably
but
like hang out with.
yeah. So if you're from Australia, you could let us know if "I want to jump in bush with you" is a common saying over there, or if he was kind of caricaturesque in a sense because his favorite game was also Ty the Tasmanian Tiger.
Which got a remake.
So,
Well, remastered,
yep,
but
yeah, an underwhelming remaster, but nonetheless, he was probably very happy to see that.
yeah.
Um, and that too raises some questions, right? If he was obsessed with Ty the Tasmanian Tiger, saying things like "I want to jump in bush with you," I remember when I was a Tasmanian Tiger in 2002, "The past still wants me," that sort of thing. I kind of wonder if he was
I mean,
Australian or did
to
he
be
just
fair,
role
those were
play as an
part of like.
Australian?
To be fair, those ones about the back in 2002, that was part of his Thai moveset. Not his moveset, but like part of the submission. Like I think it was like
Yeah,
he was. It was either part of like the information about the character, or it was like a quote or something. But
he
it
put
wasn't
he
like
put it
him
in his
talking.
signature. His forum signature was that as well.
Ah, well,
Yeah, yeah. Um, I don't know. Either way, it was entertaining, and of course, he named himself after James Bond, a suave savant and
oh,
someone
but
who
he
nearly made it
didn't
into Smash
because
Brothers.
when I called
Which
him that one time, he got mad. He got mad
what?
at me when I referred to him as James Bond at one point. I do remember. I can't. I don't know what the thread was, but I remember he got really upset with me because I said James Bond. I was like, I don't know what you expect. Your name is James and then 007. What did you think we were going to say? Somebody backed me up, and I don't remember who it was, but that happened. He was annoyed
Oh,
with me, and that I think that's
oh,
honestly
buddy.
probably what made me start being a shit to him. It's because he was a
Hmm.
shit when that started. So I was like, all right, fine. You want to go there? Okay.
Yeah. But they were kind of gray characters where they kind of in our perception at the time anyway
They were
were
probably
kind of like
they
regular.
might
Yeah.
actually have been like the last generation of active Mercurious users. Now that I think about it, Akakivich,
They were.
Naruto, James, Brawlinder, Fuzzy. They were the last generation, which
Yeah.
is sad.
Naruto was there for a long, long time though.
He
He was there
was, and then
since
he
like
had Troll
2006.
Day happen.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He got mad for being called out on something. He's just like, I'm gonna get my buddies to spam the boards with nasty shit.
Yeah, I was so glad I wasn't
What?
an admin so I can just delete all their accounts.
Yeah,
Ban all their accounts rather. But yeah, that reminds me of a member who we didn't really quite give a fair shake either, and who was, honestly just an honest to goodness good person from the start, and that was Brawlinator,
yeah. We treated him
since
very
you mentioned.
poorly.
Yeah, and I don't know what it is. I mean, do you just get to a certain point where at that time we already sort of had a cult mentality where, it was the people that we have in our group to this day still, and then PPP and Kamikai and DK3 were like, okay, no one else.
It was kind of like I think part of it was, you know how a generation of people will look down on the new generation of kids and be like, oh wow, kids these days they're so dumb compared to my generation, blah blah blah. I think like it was a lot of that, and also we were kind of at the age where just in ourselves we're just like anybody younger than us was a fucking idiot, and we kind of treated them like that because I mean, granted they were not the smartest people on how they acted on the boards, but neither were we when we first started out. And when you're at that age, you don't realize that yet. It takes some years before you start to realize, like, oh, huh. So this is the cycle. It's always like this. You realize
Yeah,
that you were not a great person at the time, which we weren't.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's true. I mean, but you have the excuse of you're still growing, and that is a pretty good excuse given. Just because it's never good to be a bully, and I don't think we ever totally pushed on that button, except for Eric and how he treated Brawlinator. We
They
never
they hated
totally.
each other. They hated each other.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It was a mild ribbing, but it was never full tail bullying. I think that we were just frankly either raised better than that, or we were in situations as children ourselves where we didn't want to emanate that sort of thing.
Yeah,
But it was just we're just not necessarily role models. Like you're a teenager or like a young teenager, 13, 14 years old. It's pretty impossible to fully acclimate oneself to every single social inclination and situation properly. So yeah, unfortunately, it kind of informed how we treated Brawley, just because he was like in love with Taboo from Subspace
yeah.
Emissary.
That's where a lot of it came to. Like he was on this big kick that Smash Bros. Brawl is the best game ever. Which, you know what? If he was like 12, 13, I can understand why he would think that. But he's also the weird part was he's saying Taboo, who was the final boss of Subspace Emissary and Brawl. It's like, oh my god, this is the best villain ever. We were just all like, what? Hold up, what? Like I don't.
Hmm.
That one I kind of don't understand where that could even come from, unless like he'd never played another video game. But we know he did. He was very much a Nintendo diehard, probably still is. But
Hmm.
he was all gung ho on Taboo was the best, and I think we kind of took that. We were just like, oh, you a kid, and we gonna treat you like kid because you dumb, and we kind of baited him on Taboo a few times, which you know shouldn't have. But
Hmm. Hmm.
like I've
Um,
tried talking to him a few times in the years. Like I've sent him messages on the Wii U. I have him on my
mhm.
Switch, but he never responded back. And I can't say that I blame him.
Yeah, it's just interesting that it keeps adding us back on these systems. Like I'm his friend on the Switch, and I haven't talked to him in 5 years.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. His brother too. Oh gosh, his younger brother, Fuzzy Dude, was kind of more so troll level tier. So that
yeah.
was
I think
that
he,
was
he wasn't
entertaining.
like trying to be a malicious troll. I think he was just like he's kid and he thinks it's funny. Like he legitimately thought he was being funny, and we were all just like, oh my god,
Yep,
you're
yep.
annoying
And
as
he had a
fuck.
he had an original character named Wego, who was just a black recolor of blue from Foster Sons for Imaginary Friends. So
I
there's
thought he was
that.
green.
No, he's black with
Oh.
red eyes.
Yeah, that sounds about right. And he was also like he weighed like a literal ton, I think, too.
Yeah, yeah. So there is that. Like they made the cut. Brawley and Fuzzy Dude made the cut when we eventually uh, pretty much seceded almost entirely from Mercurious around 2011 or 2010 to develop a role playing forum because the Ultimate Tournament was such a big thing
And
at
we
the
enjoyed the
time when
hell
we
out of
got all
it.
of our original characters, yeah, and had that bracket. We got to the very end. It was you and me in the grand finale.
Bad Boy
Uh,
Man versus Giot.
yep, Giot, your dwarven warrior, who you still use in a lot of things to this day, if I recall.
Well, he actually hasn't been used
Hmm.
since. And I mean, you've used him in your book series, but I haven't used Giot in anything since Ultimate Tournament. Like he made
Oh,
appearances
interesting.
like an NPC in like Ultimate Tournament 2, but
Yeah.
I haven't used him. Like he's a character that I have in the back of my mind. I've never he was originally a D&D character that I turned into that roleplay character, but I haven't used him in like a future D&D game. I've thought about it. I've considered bringing him back and stuff, but then those games never ended up happening, so he never resurfaced. He was
Oh,
going
yeah.
to, in that game too. He was going to be renamed as Giot Gravelgrave.
That's a good name for a dwarf.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, Baboy man. So Baboy in Tagalog means pig. It's a common insult that people use in the Philippines, but it's also just literally it's pig. And man is man. Man is a man in English. So put those together, it's basically pig man. And Trevor is the
Wait,
face of
Minecraft?
Baboy man. Literally, yeah, literally the face of Baboy man. So Baboy man was a giant pig with a red cape and held together onto his fur by a B insignia. Just a standard Arabic letter B, and then Trevor's giant head, like a very large, like a very wide, long version of Trevor's head instead of a pig head.
Wasn't the lore that Batman actually was Trevor, just like he got mutated or some shit?
Yeah, Trevor found the Baboy Salamancero, the pig scroll that transformed him into Baboy Man.
That sounds
Um,
alright. And
so
he could
that
only
that
say
all arose.
bong bong.
Yep, yep. And there's a song called Ballboy Man that Trevor and I produced when we were on April 14th, 2007. No, April 27th, 2007. So it is, Ballboy Man is over 13 years old.
Jesus.
And it just arose one day because I was talking to him on the phone and I just offhand said, Ballboy means pig in Tagalog. And then he turned it into a song. Uh, and I recorded it. And then there you go. And it was Ballboy Man.
Me is the
Yeah,
Trevor.
bong bong, he
Bong
is no
bong.
Trevor. Bob got no plan. Me is Bob Boy Man. So he was copying that off of the Iron Man theme song.
Oh, Jesus.
Da 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 da
Well, wait, Iron Man didn't
da da
release until
da da.
2008,
Da.
though.
Yeah, no, but the song was around prior to the movie.
Oh.
It was an Ozzy Osbourne song, Black
I don't
Sabbath.
know music.
Yeah, yeah, I know. But as you would probably attest, though, knowing the Iron Man theme, the melody from at least the film, you would know that Bob Man doesn't really sound like that.
No. No, he does
So,
not.
so he kind of he missed the mark a bit on that, but it became one of the longest running memes, and then I turned it into a character, and he's also a book character named Bong Bong in a book that I wrote when I was a kid that I hope I can revive one day into something that I can write as an adult. It's a little difficult finding your wedge back into fiction when you've been writing nonfiction again for so long.
Yeah.
Um, but still, so Bobboy Man versus Giot was kind of a super epic battle. We were fighting amongst the flames of Eric the Flame, which Boboy Man beat him in the previous round. That
Yeah, because
was Eric, who
we
went
each
by
had to
Flamezone's
submit a
character.
character and a stage that was like the home stage for our character. Like each round, it will be randomized what stage we were fighting on, and we just happened to land on Eric the Flame stage, which is like this, the fire fields or whatever the hell, which was
Yeah.
a little bit disadvantageous for Bad Boy Man.
Yeah, it was. The fight just kept going on and on and on too. Like Jake, who ran the whole thing, was the judge, but he was unavailable to judge it for some reason, and there was some sort of other rule where Giot and Boboyman had to keep fighting, or else whoever last posted would automatically win or whatever. So we let it run on for like 10 pages of forum posts, and
Jesus
it never
Christ.
came to a conclusion because before Jake could get to judge it and finally declare a winner for his first Ultimate tournament and call that freeform roleplay a day, I'll let you take this one.
Well, we logged on one day, looking to post. I would check it every day to see, okay, has Jonno responded? No, no, okay. Well, I'll wait to make my response then, because I can't without him. And I log on one morning, it's like, where's the ultimate tournament? Where, wait, what? Hold up, wait. Where's the thread? Where's our fighting thread? Like all the other threads were still there. But
Yeah,
our final thread was just gone. There was no Giot versus Bad Boy Man battle. We're just like, uh, it's it's gone. It's been deleted. And for years, we've just discussed it as like, oh, the mystery deleter, because it was a mystery who deleted it. Nobody ever fessed up to it. Nobody admitted who it was them, and there was really only four people that it could have been.
hmm
Ebit, or Ebit/Jake, who created that post, so he could have deleted it. There was you and me, who were both moderators at the time. Or I don't know if we
hmm
were still admins at the time, but we were either moderators or admins. And then there was DK3 himself.
yeah.
So we were always just like, well, who did it?
hmm
Was it Jonno who didn't want Bad Boy Man to lose? Was it me who didn't want Giot to lose? Was it Ebit who didn't want to judge? Or was it, in my personal theory here, was it DK3 who was upset that the site was being, quote unquote here, taken over by this role play instead of focusing on what it should be, all the submissions, and so he deleted it so that our focus would go back to submissions. We never have any confirmation, and we never will unless it was either one of John or E, because it wasn't me. Unless it was one of them and they decided to fess up someday. Which, I mean, if they did, I wouldn't be angry. I'd just be like, what the fuck? But no, I'm pretty damn sure it was DK3. He always had these weird moments where he would kind of have these periods where he would just want to delete things and restart. He'd always want to put a focus on the submission. So I really do feel like it was probably him. And we kind of just took the moment and just like, okay, well, if we can't do this here, we're just going to make our own role playing forum. And we did it, and we named it after ourselves because we were narcissistic.
And still are, or at least I am.
I mean, this isn't
So
the Zantok Jonno podcast.
we're
Although,
sa-
to
we're
be
sa- we're
fair,
gonna save
that
that
name
for.
was in the cards for when we were trying to come up with the name, and we were struggling to find a name. I was just like, are those Super Cast Brothers? Because we were considering like Smash Cast, Super Smash Cast, and it was like, yeah, these names are taken by other things. We need something different. It's like, are those Super Cast Brothers?
Yep,
It fucking
yep,
worked. I think it's
yeah. Not the
beautiful.
not the not the Zantano cast or anything like
No, not
that.
Zantano. No. And unfortunately,
Maybe.
in that forum site, it saw its own series of revisions where sometimes we'd have to move from one site to another if we were trying to get like
Mhm.
different formats or a more professional site so that we can have things stick around. I don't believe it's active anymore. We all, like the three of us, you, me, and Eva, we all left it at some point due to varying reasons. And I
Yeah,
don't think it's even active anymore. The community's kind of not. They're like, the site's still up. It's still being paid for. I'm kind of surprised that it is. Same with Mercurious.
seriously.
But you know, it was it was a relic of our times.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's what got us to when we were in our prime over there, it did give us an opportunity to let the creative juices flow, and we were able to kind of enjoy one another's presence and creatively outside of the whole submission aspect, and Mercurious was still there for us, or our various wikis or Exevius or whatever else,
Yeah.
for whenever we did want to scratch that itch. And you and I, during that period of time, we were still addicted to Smash speculation
Oh
as
God, yeah.
always. So we would just email each other or do something over Skype to kind of fill that void and produce projects together like that just for the sake of entertainment.
I mean, I would
But the
also
role playing
do.
forum treated us well, yeah.
I
Hmm?
also expanded to be like when Dissidia, the second Dissidia game released or was being revealed, Dissidia Duodecim or Marvel vs. Capcom 3, I would hold my own post like each day or every couple of days. I would go over characters that I thought could be in the game and how I thought they could work or what I thought their chances would be. It's like I fucking love speculation of all these different games. I would love to one day do an episode about like what if we did a Marvel vs. Capcom 4? What if we had Nintendo vs. Capcom or new Dissidia that wasn't with this weird PlayStation version. I don't like NT. I really don't like the City of NT. It's not great. It's not.
Yeah.
Go back to the old format, please. Come on.
Hmm.
You can keep the
Hmm.
team aspect, but I don't like how they changed how the controls all work. Ugh.
Yeah. Yeah. Seriously
Or
though,
new Pokken.
Mercury. Yeah, that too. There's a lot that can be taken from Pokken as well. That'll be interesting too because we can for sure at some point cover this in the podcast as well. There's nothing that's really tying us down to being only Smash Brothers. We are going to be obviously consistently Smash Brothers and
Yeah,
and more Smash Brothers than not, but I think it's in the cards to expand to talk about other game series over time. That's for sure.
absolutely.
So that'll be fun. That's actually on the cards at some point soon ish, I would imagine, as we edge into year two.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, we don't have like schedule lined out for like a whole bunch of future episodes, but we have like a whole bunch of possible ideas. Like, oh, maybe we could talk about this, maybe we could talk about that, and we just put things together. And you're like, okay, we'll do it here, and we film it 2 days
yeah,
later.
yeah, that's correct. Um, so as far as Mercurius goes, I guess we've really kind of delve into a lot of the touchstones already. But I mean, is there anything else we should dive into with it? Like, I can name a couple favorite submissions off the top of my head.
Go for it.
Yeah, there was
I mean, one
so
thing I
back
remember
when
that I always found kind of funny was you made a move set. You made the topic for it be called Zant, okay? And it was for Zant from Legend of Zelda Twilight
Twilight
Princess.
Princess.
I was like, oh, you sly devil. I had to, and I was just like, I got to come up with something. I had to come up with something to be responsible to this. And I'm just like, okay, how about this? John, no. And it was for Jonathan Jones from Mario RPG.
Yeah, that was a good time. Those were good those were good dynamics. Um, Remember the time too that DK3 would have themed like theme weeks or theme months for
Oh
submissions as well.
yeah,
Like he was like,
you're
"Hey,
trying
let's
to
have a
do like
Legend
an
of Zelda month."
awards program or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. You get
I mean,
5 stars, you can get a number one submission or whatever.
I did do a Zelda month at one point with my submissions. I don't know if it was like because he was saying let's do his own month, or if I just decided to do one on my own. And the character I did for that one, oh boy, I don't know why I did this. Colin from Twilight Princess, the little boy that's like lives in Link's village, and like wants to learn how to. He idolized Link from what I remember, and he was like, oh my god, Link is so cool. Teach me how to sword fight. And then I decided to give him, like, you're gonna be the next generation of Link. So I gave him like, okay, instead of a bow, have a slingshot. Instead of the boomerang, you can call a horse and ride forward. Instead of Triforce or not Triforce slash Sword Spin, you can have a Kuko fly you around. Down special, instead of a bomb, he could actually just set a bomb lane down. And then his final smash involved like the Ordon goat, which he would have get slammed into him and he would just toss it somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know why I did that. I was like, I'm gonna do something completely out there and nutty. And
Mhm.
I did. I've made some bonkers ass shit. That's one of
Elf
them.
bowling elf.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I remember uh for the Zelda tournament that he put on, I did like a great Deku tree through the
Dude,
eons kind of moveset.
we did three of us did that. Three, I think it was like you, me, and Camkai. We all did Deku Tree stages, and we were all of ours were different too.
Hmm. Yeah, and as I recall, I got first place.
I think so, yeah. And like I did mine as like Great Deku Tree. Like no, I think mine was called Great Deku Tree through the ages. Or if maybe we multiple did it, we just did it in different ways. But like mine was seeing like the growth of the Deku Tree, except it was like the Deku sprout started off in Wind Waker, and then like he would grow up to being a bigger tree. Then he was like the big one in Ocarina, and then he would like slowly die or whatever. I don't remember exactly how it worked, but yeah, we did more than just characters. There were stages, assist trophies, event matches, bosses, enemies, items, Pokemon,
Yeah.
assists. We did it all.
Basically,
We did it all.
basically, just where the Smashtopia wiki is now is a direct extension of where Mercurius brought us.
Yeah, it's like there were always multiple sites, there were multiple wikis, but Smashtopia is the current and probably final incarnation of Mercurios for us. I don't think I'm ever going to do anything after Smashtopia. I don't really need to because it's a weekend. It's going to stay there theoretically forever. So I can always just
Yeah.
go add more back to it. I actually haven't, outside of things that we've done here with our Smashtopia episodes, I have not added anything to the wiki since Ultimate was revealed. Like
Right.
once, it's like I kind of fell out of it once Ultimate was revealed. It's like, oh my god, here's all this cool stuff. I didn't really want to. I made a couple things I remember, or like I would update some of my submissions that were revealed to be Ultimate. Like I had an assist trophy move for the Squid Sisters, but I
Hmm.
called it like Callie and Marie, and mine worked a little bit differently. And then when we got revealed, oh hey, they're actually an assist trophy in Smash Ultimate, I was like, okay, well let me just update it to match that because theirs is better.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's a lot of that too. And Sakurai finally put something in the game himself with his development team. You're like, oh shit, how come I didn't think of that?
Yeah, I mean,
It's pretty consistent.
sometimes I think that I have a better idea, but sometimes it's just like, okay, yeah, you schooled me. That's not surprising, but you schooled me.
Yeah. Yeah, like with Inklings, for instance.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think my Inkling moveset was that bad, but I do definitely
No,
think that
no.
what Sakurai came up with was better than what I came up with.
Right, right. Yeah, there's a lot of that. But in other ways, you're still the American Sakurai, so
Wow,
there are over 300 submissions on the Smashtopia wiki, almost all of which are yours. So
that's true.
there's that. There was a time when it was the new hotness, and now Super Cast Brothers kind of is. So we're just finding that balance, and I think between seasons we can collaborate on getting those other Smashtopia episode submissions on there,
Mm-hmm.
and over time, we can talk about more things. Like this was a year of straight characters, pretty much, with the exception of the Assist Trophy Extravaganza. So we can dive into theoretically a stage extravaganza sort of thing, or bosses, or even some weird stuff like event matches, items, whatever.
Yeah,
Like we can do theoretically whatever we want. And as we expand Super Cast Brothers into this next year, this next season, future seasons, because this is probably going to go on for the rest of our lives because we're crazy. Uh, and it's a good output considering we're going to be speculating and talking and playing Smash regardless of
yep,
whether the podcast exists or not. So it may as well exist because it's an interesting little thing. So yeah, it's an interesting future for the podcast. I'm looking forward to where that comes from. And just looping it back into the topic of the episode, without Mercurius, we would not be friends. Probably we would not
it's true.
be doing this. Probably. So credit is where credit is due to DK3 and to the other members of that site that kept it alive for as long as it was. For all of the kind of tumultuous struggles, we became friends, and Jake and Eric and Trevor and a few other folks are still a part of the main thread of our coexistence. So that's fairly significant. And I think, at the end of the day, I definitely had a lot more fun at Mercurius than it was ever a detriment to me.
Same,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So So looking back, I look back on it fondly. It's just funny. The bad stuff that we're talking about, like, oh, we were kids and we said this and did this and we wish we didn't. I think that just comes with the territory of being younger.
Yeah.
I mean, even me now, being 26 years old, I'll look back on when I was 25, or I'll look back on a few months ago and be like, wow, why did I make that decision? I was fucking stupid.
Yep.
So it's just a case of constantly maturing, and unfortunately, part of the constantly maturing is realizing how dumb you were the day before.
Oh yeah.
Um, so luckily, there's you know several like well over several like what 1,500 days that set us between then and now. So we're pretty well off. All said and done. Actually, that's a good way to almost kind of cap things off.
Yeah.
So I joined September 4th, 2007. There's 365 days in a year. I've known you for about 4,000 days
And how many years is
of
that?
my life. That is almost 13 years.
God. 13 years of torment.
Yep. 13 years of torment. And it's probably going to be far more than 13 years of torment when our story
13
closes.
more
So
years.
13
13 years of Supercast Brothers. Fuck.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
We'll be
No
on
matter where
Smash
life
8 by
takes us.
then.
We probably will. I mean,
Actually,
we'll
no.
probably
The,
be
the next
playing it
Smash would be
in.
Smash 6, so.
Hmm.
Yeah, maybe it could be Smash 8. Could be.
Could
Could be
be.
7 or 8.
Could be. Hmm. Smash 6 will definitely be out by then.
Unless they keep porting
Um,
Ultimate and they just add more to it.
yeah, a viable option, but one that I don't find realistic for some reasons, but
No,
that's a whole other
I don't think
topic.
Sakurai would do it. If Sakurai
Yeah,
didn't want to do Smash again, I could see Nintendo saying, let's just port it and then add more, but I don't think Sakurai would want that.
yeah. Not only are we gonna get RL Nadia in Smash 6, if we get to Smash 8, we're probably gonna have just the Puyo Blobs themselves be playable.
Oop.
Which was a
You
moveset that
did
Trevor
make a
and I made.
moveset for Puyo Blobs.
And I was proud of it. I'm still proud of it.
I mean, when you can do something with that, I guess, you can do something with anything. Let's close things out by looking at Puyo Puyo. Yeah, this is actually pretty well written out. I don't feel like reading it out because it's paragraphs, which, you know, credit to you, paragraphs. But that was also one you
Hmm.
did back in 2010, so it should have been fucking paragraphs by then. Let's be real.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I was 16 years old.
Jesus, there was a lot of praise on that move, so holy damn, there's a lot of comments here. Jesus.
Now I want to see it for myself. Okay, let me.
Like, the standard special is the blobs forming a slingshot and then slinging other blobs out. This is some Angry Bird shit.
Yeah. Was Angry Birds out at the time?
I don't know. I'd have to look. I would guess no. No, it was. It released December 2009.
Wow, so it
Angry Birds
was
is
just 6 months old at the
old.
time. I know. Holy crap. Angry Birds, Fruit Ninja, kind of that old. Now we can consider that like old school mobile pioneers. Holy moly.
God, I didn't realize it
Yeah.
was that old.
Hmm. It's funny that the Puyo Blobs are like almost like if I made the symbiote from Spider-Man just be a playable character.
Oh God.
Because it's like engulf and the blobs will morph together and jump in a specified direction to like engulf an opponent and take and temporarily like overtake them. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like that's the Venom symbiote. Amazing. Um,
Jesus.
there was a lot of praise. Oh my gosh, that was the part that's where James 007 was like, "You beauty,"
That's
and
what
he
you.
and I want to jump in bush with you. Oh man,
Oh my God.
this is a gold mine. And there's boxing kangaroo. Oh
Yeah,
boy,
because he said
yeah.
you beauty, and TurboTax was like, wait, what? And he's like, no, I'm Australian. It's slang for "you're cool." I think. I'm sorry. I don't know. I don't see the I want to jump in bush with you though.
Yeah, I got ahead of myself. When I got to the end, it wasn't there.
Yeah, no. You beauty is
You beauty
also his
is there.
profile picture. Not only is Tyler Tasmanian Tiger, but Sailor Moon.
Oh, yeah.
So and these are like the final profile pictures that we ever had on there. Ebit is like Link from Link to the Past. Flamezone is Naruto, which ironic as fuck. You've got Ranulph.
Hmm.
TurboTax is the new age retro hippie. I have Faulkner from Pokemon Gold.
Yep. I like how TurboTax's submission was Mother 4 not being made, I'll make it myself, which was actually what someone else ended up doing many years later.
Yep. Did they never finish? I don't remember if that finished.
I'm not sure. I think it might have turned into a new it turned into a new project because Nintendo wanted to cease and desist it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's something like Freedom Planet that started out as a Sonic fan thing and then they turned it into an actual legit game. It's like that.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but I'm looking for it. I have to remember. I have to look back and figure out what it's called though. But I think it's definitely still around, just in another form. Uh, the good thing about Mother titles though is that outside of like the connection to Porky and Gygus, you can get away with the style looking the same, the characters being what they were already, and then you just have to change a few little things like change what PSI is called, and you're like, okay, there you go.
Yep.
So that's fine. It's kind of like Bug Fables, but bugs instead of Paper Mario.
Hmm.
Um, and there's a lot of unique driving story and aesthetic in there, of course, too. Um, yeah, very interesting times. The Puyo Blobs are some of the last submissions I think we made, and it was when we were on a submission kick. I know that Jake and I did something from Chrono Cross together where that was a stage, like the opening area. I don't recall because that was more his game than mine,
I mean,
but it
Jake and I
was
also
cool.
did the main character from Chrono Cross together.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's like
And then
there
you
were
and I
several
did some
times.
stuff together.
Yeah, there were several times that Mercurious would die, we'd all leave, and then Jake would be like, "Let's go back." DK3 says he's gonna do things again. And you and I looked at each other just like, "Yeah, that ain't gonna last." But we would humor Jake, and then it just finally, eventually, died, and we stopped caring. It was a
Hmm.
cycle. It was an unending cycle. The last update that was actually on the website, his last post he made was from 2013,
Hmm.
long before the forum stopped being active, and he had actually made posts on the forum since then, which is kind of
Yeah.
funny.
Hmm.
But I mean, in conclusion, I mean, Mercurius, you were a great time.
Hmm.
You changed the course of where my life was going. I wouldn't say you changed the course of my life, so my life would have gone in a completely different direction if I never found it. I don't know what I would do, who I'd be talking to, or anything. Maybe nobody. But
Yeah.
as many problems as there were with it, I would not give it up.
Oh, me neither. It
I'll talk
was
shit
an
on it,
essential part.
but I won't give it
Oh
up.
yeah. 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 It was an essential part of I think both of our upbringings ultimately.
Mm-hmm.
So, in some ways the most essential part.
Yeah.
So, there's that. That's kind of a messy although loving look back on Mercurius, which is good because that's kind of how Mercurius was. Messy but well loved.
Yeah. That's for
And
damn sure.
now we've moved on to Super Cast Brothers and we can drag everyone along with us on this new journey.
Ooh, babe.
Hooray. Um, yeah, so that was a nice conclusion, a nice look back. And now we're going to look forward on our next episode, which is the
What is?
final Smashtopia of the season, the final Smashtopia of this 9 cycle business that we're doing with the first year.
We are something
And
special.
it's going to be mysterious. Our mystery submissions to the Smashtopia, eventually the Smashtopia wiki, but the Smashtopia portion of our podcast, where Lister and I are going to showcase to one another submissions, character move sets rather, that we are hiding from one another.
The idea behind
So I
them
don't.
are characters that are theoretically possible for Smash. We're operating under the rules that they must be a video game character and they must have, or at least their video game franchise. At least if you have something like Final Fantasy or Dragon Quest, the franchise must have at least been on Nintendo at some point. But the character themselves is something that, for one reason or another, would never, ever happen. I've got my own. Jonno has his. What surprise are we going to hit each other with? I have a theory on what you might hit me with. You probably have a
Hmm.
theory on mine. But neither
Hmm.
one of us knows for sure, and that's going to be exciting. Instead of
That
working
is
together to
going
come
to
up
be
with one
exciting.
moveset, we're just going to be showing off what we can do on our own. Which technically, in a way, we've been doing on all the other ones anyways, and we just meshed our ideas together. But this time, we don't get the chance for that. If we have a shit attack, we have a shit attack.
Yeah, absolutely. If we have advanced painting, then advanced painting gets put in the moveset.
Yeah.
That was quite the episode, Adeline. Take a look back at that while you wait for this next Smashtopia. And until then, I guess this is the two of us signing out, but not forever and not sporadically, not Mercurious slash DK3 style.
Even though we have had a few times where there's been no episode uploaded in over a month. Oops.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
working on
There's
it.
been moments like that. Yeah,
We have some things we're trying to improve on that situation. So hopefully going forward we won't have to deal with that. But we'll see.
yeah. Season year two is like a new year, new me
It's
kind of
like
thing,
what
you
everybody
know.
says. Like the first season of a show, you got to get through season one. Season one's rough, and then season two, that's where it all clicks.
Yep. Hey, it's not as rough as it was when we started, so there's that.
It's true. It's true.
Yep. All right. I guess this is us signing off. Cheerio.
See you all next time.